If you would like to see how I made this polymer clay pendant, continue watching. All right, you all. So to make the pendant, I used some Sculpey Premo white clay. I rolled it out on a number 3 thickness on my pasta machine, which is about medium on my machine. All right, once I rolled that out, I took a teardrop shaped cutter, and this is what I used to cut the base out. Okay, so I just cut my base out. And after I cut my base out, I wanted to make sure all my edges were nice and smooth. So I went around all of the edges with a sculpting tool, and I cleaned up all of my edges, and I made sure they were all nice and smooth. Okay, so you just want to go just around the edges with a tool and clean them up. Okay, and then I laid this back down on a piece of paper. I put it down on a sheet of paper, and I did a small spritz of water on top, just like so. Okay, and I used it is a texture sheet. The texture sheets, I have a set of them. They're made by Mankin's Clay, and the one that I used is called Waves. It looks like little waves. All right, so I sprayed my clay, I spritzed it with a little bit of water, and then I put my sheet on top. I take my acrylic roller, and I just go over the top. And this is what gave the texture, okay, which is here on the back. Got it all on the back there. Okay, so after you do that, just pull this comes right off. All right, see? Okay, and then I took one of my sculpting tools, the end, that has like a little piercer on it, or the ballpoint, or stylus, and just put a little circle in the top, large enough for my pinch bail to go through. Okay, so just a circle large enough for that to go in. All right, and like I said, this is going to be the back. This is going to be the back of your pendant. So after I did all that, I just, set this over to the side, and I worked on all my little shells. And to make my shells, I used this mold. This mold, I believe, is made by Crafters Creations. I purchased this at Michael's. And you'll just want to take some of your conditioned clay, and you'll take little pieces, and you'll fill in each of the molds that you want to use. And what you do is you just press it in really good. You want to make sure, keep adding little bits and pieces, a little bit here and there at a time, but press it really, really, really good. Get it in all the little nooks and crannies, okay? Now, after you've done that, and it's all on there, you can see it looks kind of messy on the top. All right, so what you'll do is you'll take your tissue blade, and you just skim across the top ever so gently, and remove that excess off, and then you'll be left with that. Okay, and you can go back with your fingers and just smooth it out. And with mine, I did let's see, I did the seahorse, the larger shell, and starfish, and the conch shell. Okay, so I got all my places in my mold filled, and then I put my base and all of my little forms. I put them in the oven, and I let them bake. Now, I baked those for about a half an hour, because I was going to be putting it back in a couple more times. I baked it at 275. So once everything came out, when they come out in the mold, you wait and let everything cool down, okay? And after it's cooled down, the little forms, they come out, they're nice and solid, okay? And you just, it just pops right out of the mold, which, this one hasn't baked. I was just showing you, how it's done. But they just, they just slide right on out of the mold, okay? Now, so after I had all my little pieces baked and my base baked, I went back with little bits and pieces of the clay and my little forms that I had made, and I stuck little bits of clay behind the forms and positioned them on the base where I wanted them, along with some of the Sculpey oven bake clay adhesive. I put a little bit of that behind each of these, and then I stacked them and put them, how I wanted them, all on the base, all right? And then I stuck everything back in the oven, and I let it bake for about 30 more minutes. I pulled it back out and let it sit and cool. And after it had cooled, what I did is I took a little hand drill. This is the little hand drill that I used. Okay. And I drilled all the little holes here and there, and I didn't go very deep, just deep enough for me to put my rhinestone in. I put a little bit of the adhesive again in each of the little holes, put my rhinestones in it, and then I put it back into the oven for another 30 minutes, okay? And that way all of my gemstones, they sat and are in place now after they baked, okay? Then after that's cooled again, I went back with some Luminaire's white pearl paint, and I painted the front and the back, and I let that set and dry. Now, I was real careful not to get it on all my little gemstones, so you just have to be careful about that, okay? And I painted that all over. And then I took one of my metallic oil-based markers. This is the one that I used in the silver, and went around the edges, all around the outside edge, and I let that dry. And once everything was good and dry, I went back with some UV gel clear polish, and I put that all over the top, put it back underneath the UV light for about, I think it was like 6 minutes that I did it, and made sure that it was nice and cured. And after that, I stuck my pinch bell on, and there you have it. I think it turned out really cute, and like I said, it was really super easy, and I love that it's white like this because I can wear it with so many different colors, All right, you all. Well, that is my project for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for coming and watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't subscribed, take the time to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends. Thanks again, and have a blessed day.